ease is something that is not only my word for 2025, but I actually have a plan and a strategy to back it up. And it's something that I've been sharing with my clients this year. It's something that myself and my clients included have had tremendous success with. It's not just this lofty concept. It's really kind of funny because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. And, for entrepreneurs, the holy grail is success from a place of ease, and so that we can live in a place of ease. But where it gets mismatched in energy is that we get caught up in the hustle culture. Work hard, work hard, work hard, do all the things, tick all the boxes, do all the tasks. And when does that magical threshold of ease suddenly present itself for us to walk through? When does that switch finally get thrown, and we go from constant challenge bias, I call it, and move into this place of feeling like we have this level of achievement? And it's easy to be in this place where we can, not just, become lazy, because I don't really know any successful entrepreneurs who are, but become smart about either getting rid of certain tasks altogether that aren't helping you progress forward, or delegating them in very powerful ways. And so if you want to know more, please stick around, because I'm going to talk about ease, and I'm going to talk about some ways to concretize it in your life right now and kind of stabilize in this as a foundation. Because if you're building a foundation from ease, you're only going to allow more of it to gravitate to you, because like attracts like. You can call it the law of attraction, but it's also about having a certain perceptual bias. Ease is actually a consciousness state, and it's a perceptual bias. So if you want to know more, please stick around to the end, because I'm not only going to give you some actionable steps, some stuff that you can, implement right now, so you can walk away from this video and feel like, okay, I have a different perspective on how to create more ease in my life. I know exactly how to do it if I choose to do it, and I know how to deepen into it even more and create a foundation from it that just attracts more ease. So I'm Catherine, and I am a visionary mentor, and I mentor visionary entrepreneurs and conscious creators. And I've created this channel so that visionary creators, conscious creators can reconnect with their own genius and purpose. And so if you like this content and you want to see more of it, please hit that like button and subscribe so that you can get more of it. So let's get right into it, shall we? So if you have been an entrepreneur for some time, or maybe you're thinking about making the shift this year, either way, this call is going to be really beneficial to you. And maybe you've been working as an entrepreneur and you're creating, you have this almost unending workload. You're working tirelessly to kind of create this life and business that checks all the boxes, and you have the vision, you have the drive, and you have, probably a planner that matches everything you want to do and all the tasks you need to complete. And so it can feel like, as entrepreneurs, that we always have so much on our plate. And somehow we are chasing this holy grail of ease, and every day in our lives, it feels like that one friend who is always RSVPing, maybe, maybe, it's that partner that we really want in our life and our business, and it's only showing up occasionally and never when we need it most. So understand that ease is not a random visitor. It's actually a vibration, and it's a choice. So when you think of all the things that you want to attract into your life effortlessly, we can swap out effortless for ease. If you're not vibrating in a sense of effortlessness, if you're not establishing a frequency state that's your default setting, let's just call it, of ease and effortlessness, how do you expect to attract more of the same? It's an energetic mismatch. And it's kind of a dream and a fantasy, and it remains so until you make a different consciousness shift. And sometimes this can be a radical psychological shift in order to inhabit a new state of being. But it really starts as a perceptual bias. And once you understand this, you realize that ease is less about what's happening around you, and it's more about how you choose to see the world that you're navigating in and how you engage with the world. So understand first that ease is a state of being. It's not a to-do list, okay? It's not that ticking off a bunch of tasks will bring you into ease. It's the reframe. It's the way you're looking out at the world, the lens through which you look out at the world, that allows you to inhabit a vibrational state or embody a state of ease and effortlessness. So ease isn't something that you achieve after you solve all those problems and tick off all those tasks, right? It's not a reward at the end of your entrepreneurial hero's journey. Instead, ease is a state of being, and it is the vibration of wealth frequency. And wealth frequency, I'm not just talking about material abundance and prosperity here, although it includes that. But the wealth frequency is about attracting things to you that endlessly support you in doing the things that you want to do, the things that you want to enhance in your life, experience an overflow of, so that you can step up and do what you're here to do in your genius and your passion and your purpose with more ease, with a greater level of support, without constantly like doing this ping pong from survival states to overflow states, survival states to overflow states. If you can adopt ease as a state of being and understand that it's available to you right now via the choice that you make to inhabit it, this starts to clear up a lot of things pretty quickly. And you have to choose ease. Even in the busiest moments of your entrepreneurial journey, you have to choose it. Whether you're involved in a nightmare project or something that has too many moving parts and you become overwhelmed with the difficulty of that, understand that there is nothing inherently easy or difficult in the universe. It's how we choose to believe it is so. It is how we choose to view something as such. So think of ease as a lens. And this is really going to help to kind of concretize this and kind of bring it down to where you're at right now. Think of ease as a lens, so that when you're wearing the challenge bias lens, all you can really see are problems. You can see obstacles, roadblocks all the time, unmet revenue goals, unmet intentions, promises that you made to yourself that you didn't keep, the client who ghosted you, the endless to-do lists that never seem to shrink, okay? When you are looking through the challenge bias lens, it's very difficult to look at what's actually working out. You're going to find, because you are basically telling your reticular activating system, let's focus on the things that are going wrong. Let's focus on the things that are not working out. And so out of all the millions of bits of data that are available in any given moment in what you would call the world around you, the reticular activating system, which is a very primordial yet sophisticated system that siphons energy and filters data, it's only going to serve that bias, that perceptual bias, that lens of challenge, okay? But when you switch to what I call the achievement bias lens, you then start to notice what's already working, what's working out, what feels good, celebrating your wins, looking at things that are actually expansions, where things are aligned with your vision. It's a choice. There's no trick. There's no magic switch or anything. It's something you choose to do. So the trap of chasing challenges really comes from this kind of hustle culture mentality. And this hustle culture mentality, it's trained us to equate busyness with progress. And that's not always the case. And when we have this kind of stress, especially as entrepreneurs, I've seen it all the time. I've seen it a lot over 2 decades that I've been doing this work. A lot of entrepreneurs wear their stress, their worry, their anxiety, their ability to hold the fort down with all these challenges. They hold that kind of like a badge of honor. And almost right alongside that, there's this belief that if we're not struggling, we're not succeeding. And it's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. And it creates a lot of undue, unnecessary, unwelcome tension and strain and stress that you can avoid and dissolve completely when you choose to see things through an achievement bias rather than a challenge bias or a challenge lens. So here's a bit of hard truth here. If you're believing that you have to wear your stress as like a badge of honor as an entrepreneur, as a conscious creator, and that you see that if you're not constantly struggling, then somehow you're not succeeding, that mindset only keeps you stuck in a cycle of chasing challenges. And if you're seeing everything through the lens of challenges, guess what life is going to present more to you? Because life is just a mirror. What you think of as outer reality is really just a reflection and a projection of what you believe to be true, the paradigm that makes up all your beliefs, ideas, thoughts, attitudes, assumptions about who you think you are. And if you think that you're an entrepreneur who's successful because of your struggling, and that's really what, the foundation of your success is built on, struggle and suffering, then you will always create a mirror or projection in your outer reality that just reflects more of that back to you. So more and more feedback of what you're putting out there. So when you focus on what's lacking, you're constantly in pursuit. You're always looking for the next fix. You're looking for the next solution because you're always going to see problems. The next big break. This is what keeps us, chasing like shiny object syndrome and endless tactics, ways of constantly trying to wrestle down outside forces to bend them to our will. That never really works. And if it does, it yields temporary results and success at best. So this is what I call the hamster wheel syndrome, that you're running hard, but you're never really actually getting anywhere. And we think we are. We're thinking we're doing all this hard work, But if you really get honest with yourself and look at the progress that you're making, you're not getting anywhere near the intentions and the goals, the promises that you've made to yourself, and making good on those promises. So when you make ease an achievement bias, you get to flip the script, okay? You get to decide, you get to choose that I get to approach my life and business from a place of ease. I get to do that. And you think, well, if ease became my new bias, and that was the lens through which I'm interpreting everything, then maybe I can accept the possibility that challenges will be seen more as opportunities for creativity, for growth, for expansion, for innovating, for experimenting and being playful with what hasn't been working. And I stop seeing a challenge as just feedback that I'm failing at something. And instead I see it as, oh, there's another breadcrumb dropped on my path to go a different way, to try walking a different route to get to my goal, my intention, whatever. You start to be in a creative mindset. Chasing the challenges keeps you in a survival mindset. And that is not a creative state. Anybody will tell you that, that's been doing this work of, elevating inner consciousness states. And you start looking at things like deadlines. It's an opportunity and an invitation for actually more flow. And when you stop chasing outcomes, you can, when you're in this state of achievement bias, looking at what's working out, your reticular activating system is getting a different program. It's getting a different set of marching orders, a different directive, in other words. So it's starting to filter data that matches more and more of what is working out, the things that are kind of flowing successfully in your life in a way there is measurable, trackable progress. So the magic of ease and this vibration is that it aligns you with higher outcomes. You just naturally attract it because you're not bogged down by the weight of what's not working and that challenge bias that keeps your reticular activating system focused on anything else but what is expanding you, of what is allowing you to explore new potentials, new possibilities. Challenge bias shrinks you. Achievement bias expands you and turns you into a magnetic attractor for more of that which is easy. And it can expand often in ways even better than you can imagine. It usually does. It almost always does. So get out a pen and paper. And I want you to write down these 4 things, because they're going to give you some very practical ways to start looking at ease as something that's tangible and practical, and something that you can apply in your life right now. So you can cultivate ease. You can cultivate it as a foundation, because if that's your foundation, that's your default setting, that's your personal bias, more and more is going to spring from that. And you're going to attract more of that ease and things that you equate with ease. Number one, reframe your wins. First of all, when I am sharing with my clients in my programs and courses and doing my one-to-one work, I try to pull the attention back from wins and losses, because that can be really polarizing. When we look at losses, we think of failure. When we think of wins, we think of success. I mean, what is success really? That's a highly personal idea and premise and concept for a lot of people. Everybody has a different, a different interpretation of success. Like right now, I feel very successful because I'm taking time out on a Sunday. I'm going to be watching a football game pretty soon with my husband that's being recorded as we speak. I'm in my favorite cozy sweatshirt. I'm talking to you, delivering an incredible amount of value to you, because this is how I want to spend time on my Sunday, sharing and giving value. That's success to me. Success to somebody else might mean, going out on a yacht for an afternoon and drinking champagne and, I don't know, trading NFTs. That's fine. Everybody's version is very bespoke and personal to them. And when we think of success as just a blanket thing, or failure as just a blanket thing, we tend to look at those through the lenses of wins or losses. Let's move away from that. Let's just say on the entrepreneurial journey, there's only expansions. And even your perceived failures are expansions. So how do we notice that we're in a place of failure? We have friction, right? We have contrast. Something showed up in a way that maybe we don't like, presented an outcome that we don't prefer. And from that, we get feedback. Well, I'm not going to do that again. Or, I can see where something I chose went south here. And then I can make an appropriate, different choice the next time. And, the only failure really is not trying again. So let's move away from the idea of wins and losses and successes and failures. There's only expansions. So that reframe starts right there. And then every day, take a moment to acknowledge what's going right. Doesn't matter. There's no big or small either. These are, inherently mental concepts and constructs that keep us stuck. There is no big or small. Inherently in the universe, there's no ease, there's no difficulty, there's no big or small. It just all is. These are mental concepts and constructs that keep us all fucked up. And they're the things that allow us to be in a place of procrastination or dragging our feet on something that we know is going to expand us, but we're operating from a place of fear. Take away limiting language that puts you in any place of fear. Get rid of wins and losses, there's only expansions. Get rid of big or small, there's only movement. Movement can create friction that allows in either preferable outcomes or non-preferred outcomes. That's it. That's all. Anything else is your bias, any meanings or value that you want to place on it, any judgments that you want to place on it based from your past, and they're not really real. So clean up your language around that, and you're able to reframe things a little bit better. Instead, look at what's working out. And what is working out? The things that you prefer versus the things you don't prefer. Simplify it. Keep it clean. Keep it easy. Keep it pure. And then celebrate it. And this isn't just about, having another gratitude practice. There's a lot of people who teach manifesting courses and, advancing towards your success and talking about having a daily gratitude practice. I have a kind of love-hate relationship. Believe me, I have a lot of gratitude in my life, but my love-hate relationship with gratitude practices is usually the how it's taught and how people interpret that to be, as it's something transactional then. If I sit and write 5 or 10 things that I'm grateful about in the morning, and that's how I start my day, then I'm going to have what I want in my day. And it becomes something extractive. It becomes transactional instead of just celebrating and being grateful for what is and having it just be that, having it not mean anything else. So it's not like adopting just another gratitude practice. It's about really celebrating, like, wow, I put myself to this task and I rose victorious. Isn't that wonderful? Through my own resourcefulness and drive and what means something to me, from the values and principles and ethics that I have, I did this thing. How cool is that? That's celebrating what you did. That's, yeah, being proud for what you did, for how you rose to the occasion and you were a fucking boss. Awesome. There's a lot, when you start really putting it in that context, there's a lot of things to celebrate in that regard. Maybe you've had a hard time bending over and today you were able to put on socks. Celebrate it. Okay. What this does, it creates a point of attraction for your reticular activating system so that you can filter out more of your challenge bias, and so that you can be operating from in your brain. Now you have a new bias in your brain and in your nervous system to operate from the achievement bias. Okay. So it has some science behind it. You don't believe me? Go ahead and look it up. Number 2, ask better questions. Seems simple, can create some very profound and revelatory outcomes. So instead of asking, why is this so hard? Already you are lending your bias towards challenge. You're creating a bias in your brain and in your nervous system to create a congruent energy that you see things through the lens of difficulty, through challenges. Instead of asking, why is this so hard? How about, how is it that I get to do this easier? How can I get the help to do things easier? Your brain loves solving problems. Your brain is really just a supercomputer, and it loves and is designed to solve problems. Give it a better puzzle to solve. Because if you start asking powerful questions, why does this become easier when I delegate this task? Or how is this something that I could actually do differently to make it easier? Start asking better questions, because the subconscious is designed to answer those questions. So be careful of the questions that you're giving it, the puzzles that you're giving it to solve. Okay. Number 3, delegate and simplify. So if something feels heavy, if it's an arduous task that you're really not great at performing in your business, and you already know through having a network of individuals that you work with, people that you know in your communities, the groups that you're in, there's someone who is really, really good at that thing that you don't want to do. Stop dragging your feet on it and realize that you can be much better operating in your zone of genius without the distraction of, I need to struggle and suffer so that my business can be a success. You don't have to do that task. You don't have to operate in a martyr mentality that my badge of honor and my worth as a person and as a business owner hinges upon me doing all the things. It doesn't. And that's a fucked up way of thinking about your business, because truly successful people know that they delegate and they farm out with confidence to the right people the tasks that they're not good at performing. They could do them. They could do all the things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the best use of their time. And it's a way to progress the business forward in a way that it turns into more revenue creating activities. It doesn't always. But the good thing is, when you farm out that task that you don't like to do to someone who's really good at doing it, you're helping them increase their bottom line. You're helping them grow their revenue. Believe me, that ripple has a profound return effect. You can call it karma. I call it feeding the garden, seeding the garden. You are using your business as an enterprise to help someone else grow their business. It's always a win-win situation. And it's not transactional. It's just the unity principle at work. Delegate and simplify. Something feels heavy. Do I need to do this? Someone else can handle it better, probably. Who is that? Let go of the badge of business. Busyness for the sake of what you think of as progress, because those don't always match up. So number 4, and this is the one that I like, and you'll probably like it the most too, adopt a vacation mindset. So remember how creative and clear-headed you feel on vacation. You're in a different place physically, and that always lends itself to us feeling differently about life. You're seeing things right there physically from a different perspective. And so the way you channel that energy and kind of take that internally, looking at your life, you can't help but have those things match up. So you don't have to actually go on vacation. You can bring a slice of that energy into your everyday life. Ease doesn't require a plane ticket, just a shift in perspective. Okay? So you can choose ease right now, not tomorrow. That's another mental construct that gets us all fucked up. There's only now. Everything else is a ghost land. I tell my clients all the time, there really is no past, there really is no future. There are only our perspectives right now on what that could be or what it was. And usually they don't reflect truth or fact. The only thing you have control of is right now. So choose ease now. And this week, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to make ease your default setting. And here's the invitation. Here's the call to action. Pick one area of your life or your business where you've been really hustling hard, and ask yourself, what would this look like if it felt easy? You know, don't feel like you have to make some huge quantum leap and massive colossal change. Really, there is no big or small. But start in a way that feels easy. Start with ease. Start with something that feels easy. You don't have to change something big. I'm not talking about making a New Year's resolution here. I'm not talking about something that completely changes your whole construct of self. You don't have to go after that as something that feels like this big colossal change, because a lot of times that'll just put you in a place of fear and then you won't actually do it. So start with something that feels easy. Start with something that feels light. And then notice how this shift in perspective not only changes how you feel about yourself, but about the kind of results that you start to attract. Okay? What if it was easy to talk to this person? What if it was easy to have this conversation? What if it was easy to just complete this task? What if I already had all the resourcefulness within me to look at this thing from a different context, a different framework, where this thing that seems difficult is actually something that can really, really help me. And if I'm not really great at doing it, maybe I can farm that out to someone who can really help me do it. And it'll free up my time, it'll free up my energy. And here's the truth, okay? Ease isn't always about doing less. A lot of the times it is. I teach my clients and I share from a place of the less is more approach. But less is more doesn't necessarily mean less doings, but less things that are cluttering up the works of who we are being. It's about aligning with who you are in your truth. The you that's easy to be. You and your authenticity, you being genuine, you feeling safe to be you, okay? It's about aligning with that place, because when you do, you align with more flow, you align with more joy, you align with more of what truly matters to you. Because how can you attract to you what really matters unless you're truly being you, right? So go ahead and do this week. Put down the hustle. Be willing to just set it down for a week and see what happens. And pick up the lens of ease. Start looking at things through this achievement bias. What's working out? Because the world needs you right now. And if you feel stymied or stuck or stagnant in your energy, I guarantee you, if you take up this invitation, you take up this cause this week to choose to attract more ease by being in a place of ease, you're going to be surprised at what happens. It's going to create a profound perspective shift, even if you do something that you think is small right now to initiate this change into ease. And when you're ready to do this in a more concretized way and have some very real actionable steps that just builds on everything we've already talked about here, I put together a tiny course. I did this, I created this a couple days ago, and I'm really proud of it because it is no fluff, no filler, no BS. It's just actionable steps and perspectives that kind of distill to an essence what we're already talking about here, and gives you a way of looking at what's going on in your life and your business from this lens of ease. And it's totally free. All you have to do is sign up to my email list to get it. So if you go to katherinemissel.com, on my homepage, you scroll to the bottom, you'll see the call to subscribe to the email list there. And you'll get that PDF. It's an instant tiny course that you have access to for free the moment you sign up to my email list. And all you got to do is just open it up and take the time to look at it. It's not going to take you very long to go through the actionable steps and exercises in there. And it is a guaranteed perspective shift if you give all of your attention and focus energy over to it. It won't take long to do. And then come back here to this video and let me know how it worked out. So I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you attract more ease, because ease is not only your birthright, it's the vibration from which everything that you want to attract comes effortlessly. So have fun with this week. Come back here and comment. If you love this information, please like and subscribe so that the algorithm knows that you want to see more of it. And so more people can benefit from what I have to share here. So thanks, everybody. Love and peace.